Hello everybody and welcome back to learning the guitar, or the acoustic guitar. This is part 8. And what we're going to do in this episode is I'm going to teach you how to maintain your guitar. Two things we're going to talk about is just a lot of guitars. This is a Seagull solid wood series. This was probably $600 used. But depending on the material of your guitar, the guitar can actually crack or break due to the moisture changes throughout the winter, or just wherever you live, the climate that you're in. So the first thing I wanted to say about maintaining your acoustic guitar is I really think you should personally invest in a hardback case, because the two ways you maintain your guitar from not cracking from the temperature change, sorry there's a fly right there, but it's moisture packs or moisture inserts. A moisture pack is simply like if you buy a new pair of shoes, just those little beads you throw in your case when you're done playing. And a moisture insert is just like a little piece of plastic or a little piece of wood that has a sponge inside, and you put it through the center of the sound hole. And the reason I recommend the hardback case is because that'll lock in the moisture better, and it'll prevent you from having to spend hundreds or thousands of dollars repairing your guitar. That's all about all I wanted to say for guitar maintenance. And now in this episode we're going to show you we're going to talk about types of strings and how to change your strings. Obviously it's not super exciting, it's not a music lesson, but maintaining your instrument is very important. What types of strings should you use? To me it's very personal preference. You have the material used, you typically have an alloy, like my personal favorite's nickel bronze. These are D'Addario, something like that. And this is just an example of aluminum bronze strings. But the two real points that matter are the composition, what is the string made of, and then the gauging. Like you can see here it says 11 and 52. The 11 is either the radius or the diameter of, that's got to be the high E, and the higher number is going to be the radius or diameter of the low E string. So typically this is 11 out of 11 and 52. This is custom light gauge. I like light strings are typically better for a brighter sound for strumming. Thicker strings are better for picking in a richer, deeper tone. But it's really personal preference. At this point I've played with most types of composites or most types of alloys. I really do like nickel bronze. That's my personal favorite, at least for this guitar. But those are the two things you want to pay attention to. The gauge, how thick is the string, and what is the string made of. And then try out different ones and see which ones you like. And now to change the strings of your guitar, I'm assuming you have a guitar and you have a dirty pair of strings already on there. When I was learning, I saw a lot of people say change one string at a time. I see no reason to do that. So before we actually change the strings, I'm just going to walk you through one or two strings. There's only two things you really need to keep in mind. Don't cut the string too short before you're absolutely certain that it's going to not have enough string to wrap around. If you can see the head of the guitar right here, I like to have typically 2 or 3 circles on the little nuts, or where the string attaches to the head. But how to not have too much excess string, but for sure not to cut the string short. If you cut the string too short, you're going to have to buy new strings. And then you're going to need a tool that looks like this. These are found anywhere online and anywhere at any music store. They're a couple bucks. And one, it's going to cut the string, but also this little insert or feature on the bottom of it, this helps you remove these anchor points of the string. So we're simply going to cut the string, remove all of the strings, and I'm going to show you how to apply the new strings. And before we even start, or before we even do it, the thing about winding the strings, once you're going to put the base of the string in here, take it up here about 2 head lengths past, I'd say about 1 head length past the nut or the bolt. And that will give you the 2 or 3 circles on the attachment. But the E, A, and D string, if you can see the head here, those 3, you're going to come, the E, A, and D string are going from the center counterclockwise. In the G, B, and high E string, you are going up through the center of the guitar and you're turning the string clockwise. First 3 strings counterclockwise, last 3 strings, higher 3 strings clockwise. And that's what you want to pay attention to, of which way you're winding the strings at the top. So let's get started. So the first thing we need to do is remove the old dirty strings. Take all of your tuning knobs and make the strings really, really light. Like just make them really floppy. This will prevent you getting whiplash or snap from the strings when you cut them. Now all the strings are really loose and out of tune. Now we literally just go through the center of the sound hole and cut. To remove the longer part of the cut string, literally just unwind it from the nut. And as I was showing you with the insert, and again this changes from guitar to guitar, but they're typically just a little, pull out a little knob, little nut thing, and you bring out the end of the string. And now when you have your new pack of strings, they'll be labeled the sizes. Like typically the low E string's typically like a brass color, the A string's typically like a red color. It's consistent per string brand, but it's different from different string brands, but it's really simple. Just look at, you can physically see and feel the thicker string if you don't know which one goes where. The thickest one's the low E string, and then just whatever's the next least thickest is the A, and then just work your way down. So that's how you remove the strings, and now I'll cut this out and I'll show you how to put them on. So now what we're going to do is we take the low E string, take one of our bolt things that we removed from the base of the guitar, and you can see here it has a little groove. It's a cylinder with a little groove on one end through the whole side. That's obviously where the string goes. So you want to line that up as you put it into the hole. And now pull the base of the string so you can feel it snug against that little insert. And now that doesn't have to be super tight or anything, but just approximate the length of the string. And you can see directly out of the pack, it's about 2 head lengths above, and we're going to keep it about 1 head length above. So we got your thumb over here, keeping this base down over there. Slide it through. And now, the string's very floppy, no tension at all. And now we're going to start turning the knob on the head of the guitar, and make sure that, remember, low E, A, and D go through the knob and are turned counterclockwise to the head. G, B, and high E are turned clockwise. So now we start turning it a go. There will also be little grooves in the right before the first fret. Obviously make sure your string's lined up in there as well. And so now, I don't know if you can see, but I have one little one little roundabout knob, or one little circle of the string around the peg insert thing. Which, like I said, I like 2 or 3, but one's not really bad either, so I will cut this one here. The thing you want to do is you just don't want to be too extremely short or way too excess or way too long. But as long as, the reason I have my thumb on this thing is a lot of times when you're initially applying a string, these will slip out. So if you have your thumb there, it'll just hold it in place. So now that I'm happy with the length of the string on the knob, I go ahead and cut the string. And now, I'm not going to show you each independent string because they're all the same, as long as you remember the high 3 strings go the opposite direction. But for tuning, when you apply a new set of strings, the guitar is going to come out of tune quite a bit. So what I recommend doing is when you're actually applying the string, or putting the string on, is to tune each string as you apply it. Right? I just have one string on the guitar, the E, so I'll tune the E string. And then when I put the A string on, I'll tune the E string, then the A string, well, I'll tune the A string first, but then I'll retune the E string. Because by the time that you've put the first 3 strings on, or you go to the 4th string, the first 3 ones you put on are going to be out of tune. And typically I would say for the first week of playing a new pair of strings, it's going to slip out of tune quite a bit. So you'll have to tune your guitar pretty regularly before each practice. And for the first couple times, like literally 5-10 minutes later. But how often should you change your strings? Again, really personal preference. If I'm personally being snobby or just changing them a lot, I'll probably change them once every 3 weeks, once every month. If I'm doing other things or not too busy, I mean, it could be as long as 3 months or 6 months. So to preserve the integrity of the string the longest, wash your hands each time before you play, and wipe down your strings with a clean cloth after you play every single time. Now do your best to just maintain the strings for the longest amount of time. And that's how you put strings on or change the strings of acoustic guitar and maintain your guitar in the winter or in the dry climate seasons. Thanks for watching.